Thank you, Commissioner Oman. We should all be able to agree that the Department of Labor is changing their position on what it means to be an investment advice fiduciary 3 times in 3 years is onerous. The costs and the confusion that goes along with this are clearly not in the best interest of either the providers or the individual savers or retirees. What do you see as the biggest concerns with the way that the Department of Labor have developed this new proposal?
Well, there were just comments from one of your fellow subcommittee members about that lack or the encouragement to have that communication. There was no communication, in my view, with regards to the development of this rule. I've been doing enforcement for a long time. I worked in the Missouri Insurance Department as well as served as an assistant attorney general prosecuting scam artists. I can also tell stories of people that were ripped off by insurance agents and securities agents. From my perspective, that what we need to make sure is when regulations are put into place, that they don't punish the well-intentioned individual, the investment advisor, the fiduciary, frankly, the insurance producer who's doing the good work. And in my experience, that's been the vast majority. The Department of Labor seems to just be overreaching with their view that there should be a fiduciary mandate. Commission structures and transaction-based are often the most cost-effective way by which middle Americans can receive good advice. With the state, we focused on making sure that the advice is solid, that it does put the interests of the consumer first. And so my criticism of the DOL has really been the lack of opportunity to sit down and have some of the reasoned discussions. As for the comment period, I got my comments in. We worked through the holidays. It was very abbreviated in my perspective in trying to meet those requirements. So to be frank, I don't think the DOL was open for discussions. But that would frankly be It was
open for what, 39 days?
Something like that. And again, this is through the holidays, so it was basically all due right after the new year.
And your responsibility, let's talk about the state's role in this. We assume that we have to have all the answers on the federal level, but the state plays a role in not only managing the activities, the licensing, everything that goes into the people that are able to do business in their state.
We began our process in revising our standard to a best interest standard before the court struck down the DOL rule. We looked at a fiduciary-only approach, but we worked together, and it's true, there are 42 states that have adopted this, but I expect by the end of this year, we will be approaching 50. I know it's moving in those states that have not yet adopted it, so I'm very confident certainly by early 2025, we will have all jurisdictions. But yes, I mean, the efforts that went into this were really designed to ensure that consumers had choice. In Iowa, we have a very large agriculture business. The distribution for annuities for self-employed individuals and those that are in farming is very different than the distribution that you might find in some of our urban areas. And it's really important for that distribution to be available for all middle Americans, again, not just for those that are able to afford the fees associated with a fiduciary status.
Yeah, I can tell you, as a former investment advisor, you feel the weight, and I'll say this to you, Mr. Pfeiffer, you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders when you sit across from a retiree and you're trying to help them navigate the path to make sure that they're able to make it all the way to end of life without running out of money, right? That burden and that weight weighs very heavy on investment advisors. And so to suggest that, and within that industry, the penalties are severe. If you do an improper job, you lose your business. You could lose your business. If you do an improper job, you could be sued by Mr. Pfeiffer and his law firm. So there is currently a lot that's already in place to disincentivize the bad actors and I think that there's already innately the benefit. If you do a good job, more business follows.
Again, in Iowa, I regulate both securities transactions and insurance. So I have the responsibility of imposing that sort of punishment, discipline on investment advisors, insurance producers, insurance companies, across securities broker dealers, across those various means of which these products are distributed. And to be frank, I believe that the standards matter a great deal, but more important than that is the enforcement. And I think that's what united us at the NAIC is that we improved our rule.
I'm sorry, the
create-
gentleman's time has expired, so I need to.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burleson.
Thank you.
Now